What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90, and the Champions League is finally back. We've got match week 2. Obviously, the Premier League fixtures were postponed due to the passing of the Queen Elizabeth II. Rest in peace, of course. But the Champions League fixtures do carry on. I wasn't able to make a video for the first time because I was out on holiday. I didn't have time to make it, and I am again very pushed for time to make this video, but having just got back and having a million things to sort out. So I'm going to do the format a little bit differently. I'm going to go to Superbrew, one of the predictor websites, and go through all the games and my score predictions there. So that way it will take me much less time to edit this video because I don't have to do all the fancy graphics, chucking up teams and putting up scores, when in actual fact you just want to know my predictions and any tips that I may have. So I'll be doing that with the handy dandy help of Superbrew. So please do drop a like on this video, subscribe as we're trying to reach 25,000 subscribers by the World Cup or during the World Cup, and leave your predictions down in the comments below. We'll also touch on some of the results from the first game week that I followed loosely whilst I was out over in Tenerife. So let's get into the Champions League fixtures. There's a lot to get through, so I won't stay on them for too long. Let's get to it. So this is what I mean. I'm going to be showing you my predictions for the game weeks here. So kicking it off, this is much more analytical. This is exciting, getting comfortable in my chair. We've got the group standings we can look at real quick. Ajax dispatching of Rangers, Napoli destroying Liverpool as well, Atletico Madrid and Club Brugge winning as well. Club Brugge, I mean, Bayern Leverkusen aren't in great form. It does have to be said in the Bundesliga, but still, that's a little bit of a shock. Barcelona, Bayern Munich doing the business, winning as expected. Tottenham beating Marseille, shout out Richarlison, and Sporting beating Eintracht Frankfurt. That was a little bit of an upset for me as far as I was concerned. Speaking of upset, Dinamo Zagreb beating Chelsea, which ultimately cost Thomas Tuchel his job. What are your thoughts on that? AC Milan and Salzburg drawing as well. Shakhtar Donetsk beating Leipzig and Real Madrid beating Celtic as well. City destroying Sevilla and Dortmund beating Copenhagen. And then we have Benfica beating Maccabi, that's what it was. And PSG beating Juventus. So kicking it off with these fixtures and predictions. Sporting and Tottenham, I was very, very close to a 1-1 draw. Sporting do play well at home, but they haven't historically performed particularly well against English sides in the Champions League. On top of that, the Tottenham players are rested due to the postponed fixtures this weekend. So I'm going to go for a Tottenham away win, but I would probably say for a tip, I would say both teams to score on this one. I've gone for a 2-1. Initially, I thought 1-1. Both of those have both teams scoring. The result I'm not as certain on, but I'm going to give it to Tottenham. He'll be well rested and up for this game, having got a good result against a good Marseille team as well. After this, Viktoria, Plzen, Inter Milan. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win to Inter. Inter Milan are going to win this one, but I could see them conceding because that's just the Inter Milan way, winning and both teams scoring, especially in games like this one. So I'm not going to stay on that for too long. After this one, Bayer Leverkusen, Atletico Madrid, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Atleti. I was considering a 2-0 win. And I think this here, 2.55 for an Atletico Madrid win, that looks really, really good. Hoping we don't see an Atletico Madrid Champions League collapse. We've seen them before. But I think Atletico Madrid are well worth the win here, especially at those odds. So I would look at Atletico Madrid to win this game as a tip. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win there. Bayern Munich, Barcelona is going to be very, very exciting. Barcelona, they've got the man himself, Robert Lewandowski. And I think he went and scored a hat-trick in the first game week, albeit against Viktoria Plzen. However, I do think Bayern are a better all-round unit and at home are going to be able to beat Barcelona. So I think a tip could be Bayern Munich and both teams to score. Alternatively, if you do believe in Barcelona, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. Some Bayern games do randomly end low scoring. This won't be one of them. There's going to be goals. I think Lewandowski could score. We say that how many times in Bayern games, but this time I could see him scoring against his former club. But ultimately, Bayern Munich taking the win at home, but Barcelona looking like a real threat this year. So should be a very exciting game, that one. I've gone for a 3-2. I was going to go 4-3, but I thought let's dial it back. Maybe it will be 4-3. You know what? Why not go 4-3? Unless it's 4-2. Unless it's 3-2. I don't lose anything by picking 4-3 over 3-2. So there we go. Why not? Liverpool Ajax now. My bet for this game would be Ajax double chance, which would probably be valued at about 2.2, 2.4, something like that. Ajax are in brilliant form. They're playing well, and Liverpool are not. Whilst they're rested, whilst they're at Anfield, Ajax will want to get at Liverpool here, and I think they're going to not take revenge for the 18-19 Champions League season, but Tottenham managed to scrape through against Ajax and then put up a pitiful final performance against Liverpool, handing them the Champions League. I think Ajax would have gave them a much better game. They've got their chance to go to Anfield and make a game of it and give them that game that they claimed they could do. I think Dusan Tadic was the one who said they reckon they could have beaten Liverpool had they made it to that final. And it was much more likely than Tottenham winning. Liverpool aren't in great form, so I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw here. Liverpool could bounce back and get a win, but I do think Ajax are very good, so I'm going to go for a shock draw. And given, I don't know, I mean, if Liverpool lost to Napoli, so is it the Jurgen Klopp 7th season curse once again? We'll wait and see. Liverpool are, of course, the favourites, but I think at that value, it's worth a punt at a double chance. Marseille and Eintracht Frankfurt. I've gone for a 2-1 win to Marseille, but I would probably go with both teams to score again. It's a tough one to predict. I was really disappointed in Frankfurt. I thought they did play much better against Sporting. I really thought they could win that fixture. They've been looking good this year, but Marseille, of course, have been looking very good as well in Ligue 1. So I'm going to go for home for Marseille. They've got some brilliant players that a lot of people forget about. So I'm going to go for Marseille to win that one. After that, it's Porto up against Club Brugge. Porto, home form is where it's at. Club Brugge, not as strong as Porto, albeit getting a win in the first game week. I'm going for a Porto win. It's going to be a 2-0 to the Portuguese. Moving on to Wednesday's fixtures. Dinamo Zagreb, fantastic win at home against Chelsea. Very difficult place to go. However, going to the San Siro is a little bit of a different story. And AC Milan have been doing well this season. I'm going to go for a win to AC Milan, 2-0. I would just say maybe AC Milan to win and under 3.5 goals as a tip. Probably around about 1.8, something like that, which is much better than the 1.3 offered here. After this one, Shakhtar Donetsk up against Celtic. I've upset the odds here. Odds are that Celtic will win this game away from home. That surprises me. I think a lot of people underrate Shakhtar. I might be eating my words here, but with those odds, maybe a Shakhtar double chance would be worth a shout, because predicting Celtic to go away and win away from home against Shakhtar Donetsk, that sounds crazy to me. Am I underrating Celtic here? Maybe. Celtic are playing very well this season. They're dominating the Scottish League, of course. But I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Shakhtar. Both teams to score, again, is a tip that I'd be looking at here. But Shakhtar, I think they're well worth the win here at 3.1. After that, Chelsea up against Salzburg. Salzburg, a free-flowing scoring team. Chelsea have got to do something, right? They've had the weekend off for the Premier League, and they need to do something. They've got to win. After losing to Dinamo Zagreb, you can't then lose at home to FC Salzburg, because then you only have to face AC Milan twice out of your last 4 Champions League group stage games, and progressing from that stage looks unlikely for Chelsea. So they've got to win here, and I think they will be able to do it. I'm going to go for a 2-1. After that, we have Copenhagen against Sevilla. Sevilla are going to win this game, I think. And I think at 2.15, I would go out and out on that. I wouldn't look at goals. Sevilla, you can back them to win, and it will usually be 0-0 halftime. So if you've gone for over 2.5 goals, you're screwed. I could see this being 0-0 halftime, 1-0 full time, or maybe 2-0 at most. I'm going for a Sevilla win against Copenhagen, 1-0. I think Sevilla are just the stronger team, and the odds do reflect that. And they've also factored in the home advantage for Copenhagen, which provides very good value for Sevilla here. I think at home they'd be at like 1.5 or something like that. So I don't see the home advantage being that strong of a swing in the odds as the bookies are displaying here. After that, it's Juventus up against Benfica, and what a crazy scenario we had at the weekend with Juventus in Serie A. They're not quite at their fighting fittest, their best, I would say. Benfica, on the other hand, very much are. Are Juventus the favourites to win? Yes, they are. You can see that here at 2.2. But I'm going to go for a bit of a shock draw. You know what? I think Benfica have arguably had a better run in the Champions League in the last few years than Juventus have. And they're absolutely dominating in the Portuguese league as well, I believe. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw here. Could be a 1-0 win, 2-1 win to Juventus. But I'm going to sit on the fence, try and pick a draw route. This one, have I been generous to PSG? No, I don't think so. I think PSG are going to absolutely wipe the floor with them. Maybe the home advantage gives them something, and I should say something like 4-0. But what's the difference between 4-0 and 6-0 in terms of prediction? Bottom line is, I think it's going to be conclusive. I think it's going to be crazy. Mbappe hat-trick inbound. Not often I tip a hat-trick, but here we go. It's going to happen. 6-0 to PSG. And that's the kind of thing you need to back if you want to get any sort of value out of this this winning odds here. So maybe PSG at a -3 handicap. So they only need to win by 4 or more goals. That could be something to look at. That'll probably be around 2. Definitely worth the punt. The value here now, Man City to Borussia Dortmund, 1.2. very, very short odds for Man City against the Borussia Dortmund side. Against Maccabi, I could understand it. They'd probably be like 1.05. But Borussia Dortmund, they're a decent team. So part of you wants to say, you know, Dortmund double chance, but obviously Man City are going to win. They've got Erling Haaland, so that's why the value's like that. But still, it just seems crazy to me. So I think the value would lie in Man City and both teams to score, because Dortmund, they know if they want to win or get anything from this game, they've got to score. They do have good attacking players, but Man City will score more than them. So I think Man City and both teams to score is a good shout. But the struggle is I could see this being 2-0 to City. So go with what you feel like, but my gut tells me 3-1, so I've gone with a 3-1. After that, it's Rangers-Napoli. I think this might have been postponed, but either way, I think Napoli are really good value at 1.8. I know the Ibrox is a tough place to go, and Rangers had a brilliant Europa League run, but this isn't the Europa League. This is the Champions League. Napoli are a better side. They just destroyed Liverpool, so I think Napoli at 1.8 is great value, and it's a 2-1 for me there. And the final fixture, Real Madrid-Leipzig. I've been nice to Leipzig and giving them a goal. They've looked pretty poor this season. Real Madrid looking at the top form, and I think Real Madrid, I was going to go 3-0, but Leipzig in the past have been good at scoring goals, and I think I'm struggling to let that go. But they lost to Shakhtar 4-1. That's crazy. And Real Madrid beat Celtic. Was it? Is it going to say what the result was? Yeah, 3-0. Okay, so I could see it being 3-0 again, but I'm going to go for a 3-1. And here is the summary of my Champions League predictions. So notable ones: Bayern Munich to beat Barca in a high-scoring game. Liverpool to drop points again against Ajax to leave them in a tough place in the group. Shakhtar to take an upset win over Celtic, I suppose, as far as the odds are considered. Benfica to give Juventus a good game. PSG to absolutely run riot. Napoli to win. Real Madrid to win. These are my picks. Take what you like. Atletico Madrid to win. Great value there. And that is just about going to do it. So that's the TF90 main Premier League screen. Let's go to the UCL screen. That is going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like, subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.